Good evening and welcome to Smart Entrepreneurship Decoded on Transcontinental Times. It seems like yesterday, but we are nearly in our 38th episode. And we have met people from the startup ecosystem from every possible direction. One area that I thought we have not done enough justice to is women entrepreneurship. It's also because there are so few of them. I mean, the very few who get celebrated, but there's a whole legion of them behind who struggle to make a name for themselves. Their challenges are different. The world they operate in is almost an unbelievably different world. So I thought, why not call a women entrepreneur who's experienced entrepreneurship, worked on the skills side, worked in corporate, is professionally qualified, and also happens to be from the city I live in, and is right now joining us from one of my favorite cities, which is Kolkata. So while I'm in Jakarta, she's in Kolkata. Both of us happen to be from Bangalore. So without further ado, let's welcome Nisha Dhanuka. Hi Nisha, how are you?
Hey Nalin, I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. It's so nice of you to join us. I know a few weeks ago we wanted to have you on the show, and unfortunately you were ill. So really nice that you can join us now.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Thank you.
So tell me something. I know you had an entrepreneurial stint, you had a corporate stint before that, and you are a qualified chartered accountant. What makes entrepreneurship for women so difficult in these times? After all, we are in the 21st century.
Okay. So I think even before going into the gender thing, saying for women entrepreneurship, we all know entrepreneurship itself is a very, very lonely and a difficult journey. When we see successful entrepreneurs, there's so much of history and geography behind it. We see their success, but what goes behind that success is, so much of pain and so much of hard work. I've been through this journey from last 10 years. Now when we bring women into the scene, you know uh, and I have interacted with so many women entrepreneurs across the globe, not only from India, and more or less we all struggle through the same challenges. uh, One is that the moment you become a women entrepreneur or when you run your own business, the challenges are the same, but the expectations from family doesn't come down. You're still expected to be a good mother, to be a good wife, and so on and so forth. And as a women, we also don't want to let ourselves down on those fronts, because there's a huge guilt conscious that come in if we are not able to manage the family well. So I think more than the execution, the mindset level, there are a lot of blockages and challenges that a woman faces. Even today, we talk about 21st century, but if you go and I'm not complaining or not saying that men are not helping, but then the women out there still wants to be that super women. We always call them super women, and they want to stay you know honest to that tag, which is not required. We are just women. We are not super women, we are not super human being. And I think that is one of the biggest challenges. They always have this timing criteria where they want to go back home on time. There are kids who are waiting. So I think all these things, whether they accept or they don't accept that, but the fact is that for them it is their responsibility to do things right. And that's where when you're growing your business, there are a lot of challenges that come. So I really feel that the mindset level, I want to grow, is just a statement. Really, do you want to grow? Are you ready to go, deal with the real mind shift change is the biggest challenge I feel.
So, you touch an important point. Obviously, you have a social and a family role, which uh, you have to do. It is expected of you, whether you like it or not. And often women feel guilty of ignoring one side of it or the other. But even putting that aside, it is still considered a bit of an uphill for women entrepreneurs, because when I speak to them, it does not seem to be an equal playing field, because there aren't enough women investors, there aren't enough women mentors, there aren't enough women role models. So what can be done to help people out?
Okay. Actually, Nalin, I think you hit the bullseye. First is that we always say there are not enough women investors, and who are there are not easily accessible. So if you go out in the market, there's not dearth of women entrepreneurs, but they will always say that women entrepreneurs are not ready to be funded. When you go and ask any women investor or investors in general, they say that Nisha, you get me these businesses, but they're not ready to be funded. Now, I the first thing is that you have to really look at it from a different lens. I'm not saying you have to do impact investment. No, you're not doing any charity when you're investing into business. But then you have to understand that they have the thought process is they have never seen that how we along with the funding there's a lot of mentoring that needs to be done. So when I take a deal, they always the first question is that okay, if it's a sole proprietor, if it's only a single woman, it's a straight away no, which I understand. You have to hedge your risk and you can't invest into. If there are two women, the first question comes, what happens, so more than the professional, it's about the family life they want to know. What is the husband doing? How many kids they have? If she's not married, what are her plans for the marriage? Come on, you can't evaluate on these things of business. You look at the business as just as a business. So one is that the investors. I don't know. They are not so keen. If I take 10 deals or 20 deals, I have seen that the real it's unconscious bias, but it's there. They are not interested in investing into only women funded. Second, women led ventures. Second is that most of the investors want to invest into businesses which are driven by tech. Now here the women again, I would say no, that's a area where women needs to have that mindset that tech is not a rocket science. You don't have to make a rocket. You have to get into tech because tech is the way forward. They are scared. The moment you want them to involve in tech, they'll say we need huge investment. No, it's not like that, and they're scared. Then they say okay, let us grow organically, slowly, which will not happen. How much you will grow organically, slowly. If you really want to have anyway, be it a small business or big business, challenges are same. So as well as at least think big. So they say tech and they are scared of tech. That again creates a big loophole between the or a big gap between funding and the investors.
Yeah.
uh,
You make
yeah,
interesting points, because a lot of families, the women runs the home budget, yet there is this bias when it comes to investing in women founders. And right from the 30, 40 years ago, whether it is a Lijjat Papar story or whether it is the latest Nika IPO, women have succeeded remarkably
absolutely,
well. So
absolutely.
let's talk about that. So does a you know it's a again a myth or a woman needs to behave extra ruthlessly like a man to succeed? Is that true?
you know I just don't understand. When a guy is ruthless, he's tagged as he's very professional or he's a very, very business minded. When a woman is ruthless, she's tagged as ruthless. I do business. I know that I have to run. I have to pay my employees. If I'm not little, I don't want to. It's my business. If I shut down my business, if I'm not able to manage it, what's the point of doing it? So we are not ruthless. We are also trying to run the business. Keep it. You know, Positively moving, or cash flow should be managed. So when we check out employees, it's not because we are ruthless. It's because it doesn't make business sense. So I think ruthless is not the right word. It's just that we are the moment we act like a business person, we are tagged as ruthless. But when a man does it, he is a businessman. Very very I forgot the term that they use for guys very very commonly. But I
So
don't think ruthless is the right word. We are just trying to save our business.
yeah, I agree with you. So you have been in the leadership coaching skills area for a long time. What are some of the skills that entrepreneurs need in today's world, especially women entrepreneurs? I mean, you could tell me generically and for women entrepreneurs as well.
Yeah. So I think one very very important skill that I feel is a perseverance. No business has become successful in over 1 year or 2 years. You really need to invest time. I don't know where this thought process comes that the moment I start a business or a startup, within 1 year 2 years I'll get funding and I'll become, grow big. It doesn't happen. How many businesses grow like that? You have to build a business on a solid business model, not by just getting it funded. So I think one is that you have to have a perseverance. Just, I don't know, we read stories and it's not the right thing. Second, I feel, especially from women entrepreneurs perspective, that networking is something that they really need to work on. A relationship orientation, you only grow when you have the right network, and you can't develop a network over just 6 months or 1 year. You really need to invest into it. It's like, I always say, it's like a farming. You really need to grow and keep doing your work, and one day you'll get the results out of it. In today's world, it's only about the connect. When you want to get funded, if you know the right people, you're going to get funding. When you want to get connected to global markets, if you know the right person, you're going to get. So the thing that I'm not good at networking doesn't work. The moment you are an entrepreneur, you can't say I'm not good at networking. You better become good at networking. And it is not something, again, I would say it's not a rocket science. You just need to develop how you do develop relationship. Third is that, you know the thing that I will only make my product or services. I will not sell it. The very first salesman for your business is you. If you're not able to sell, and before the product or services, you sell yourself. Anybody buying your product or services buy your confidence, not your product or services. So don't be scared saying that I'm not a salesperson, I'm a technical person. No, you can't escape that. So I think these three things, that that ability or thing, that to sell, perseverance, and networking, you really need to master these three skills.
Yeah. So those are obviously right on top of my list as well. But one of them that I find as a big gap is financial knowledge, financial acumen, the ability to manage cash, the ability to make a differentiation between what is a cash flow item, what is a P&L item, what is a balance sheet item. Uh, we hold India Fund Fest every year, 10, 12,000 people apply. And all of them are looking for money. None of them have a CFO.
Oh,
And none of them,
okay.
almost none of them understand the concepts of valuation or the principles of it. And I would hazard a good guess, 99% and above don't know the difference between the three things of cash flow, P&L, and balance sheet. How important is that to you?
Oh, absolutely, Nalin. In fact, I do a lot of sessions on this, how to manage your cash flow, importance of cash flow. And the very first question that I ask, and mostly these sessions are for who are in business for at least 2 years to 5 years. And I say, so how is your business doing? So they will give me the sales number, the profit, and profit number and all those things. And then I say, how many do you need funding? And everybody invariably, 99% will raise, I need funding. Say, for what? You're doing good sales, good profits, then why do you need money for? Our customer is not paying, and this and that, we have worked. And I said, you're not doing good business. you know how your business would be I take as, the one of the green indicator for doing good business is how much money you have in your bank balance. Are you able to manage your operations with the amount of cash you generate? I do 100 crore business, but if my debtors are not paying, what's the point? you know
Yeah.
so they have zero. They are ready to, in fact, some entrepreneurs, I get amazed by they say, we go to any length to sell the product, but when we have to go and ask for money, we feel shy. I feel bad to ask for money. For 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, they have their working capital cycle going on. I said, because I don't know, that's the mindset that if I ask for money, they will feel that, I'm a small person, or is there a financial problem. I said, no, you've sold a product, you better go and get your. So they don't understand this concept of that, sales is not everything. Money coming in your bank account, then the entire sales cycle get completed. So absolutely no knowledge about difference between what you say, the profit and loss account, the cash flow. And then the moment they start a business, the very concept of that, cash outflow, anything that you invest, or pay. It's a cash outflow. Why you have to do so much of cash outflow? Why do you need luxury offices? No, even if it's a funded startup. So I think this understanding of that cash outflow and inflow is so important, and they have no idea. They only talk about the sales and profit, which is equally important. I'm not saying that's not important. You have to definitely need to have that understanding, but the cash flow management is the how should I say, it's the blood for the business. The moment
Yeah.
it's not there, you will die sooner or later.
True. I'm amazed at how many founders approach me who have more friends on social media than clients. And I ask
Mhm.
them, how come you have more social media followers than clients? Especially if you're in the B2C space and all that stuff, right?
Right.
B2B, I understand, but B2C, so many of them with 5,000, 10,000 followers on Instagram and Facebook and
Yeah,
LinkedIn, and five clients, 10 clients, etc. And so many of them chasing valuation before creating value. So you make
absolutely.
very interesting points that resonate with me, very closely. Let's shift track a bit because, apart from being a successful woman founder, you've had an exit. Uh, you've closely worked on the financial. You qualified on the financial side. You've closely worked on the leadership skills area, but you've also worked on the investment area. So a
Correct.
lot of founders approach you for investment. You have been connected in that area, etc. Do women investors look at proposals differently from their male counterparts?
Okay. Uh, I won't say. See, one thing is definitely there is a little soft corner when I take some proposal to saying that these are led by women entrepreneurs. There's definitely, yeah, we want to promote and all, but that's only the first level. From the second level onwards, no. I would say not word ruthless, but they're as good as an investors like a male
Oh, I
investor.
agree. Without a
Yeah,
doubt. Without a doubt.
absolutely. So it's all about,
So,
yeah.
so when some a founder approaches you and for investment, what do you look for first? What are you looking for to have a conversation further?
The very first thing, Nalin, honestly speaking, I said, forget about your business and all. My investors will not invest in your business. They will invest in you. In 2 years, you have done something, created something, but that doesn't qualify you to, invest 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore in you. They will invest in you. So for me, it's all about how confident is the entrepreneur about her business. What are her growth plans? Can she really visualize, or you have a vision to take the company to that level? I want growth vis-a-vis. I know I will grow my company. I have my definite plans around it. Of course, things will change. Things will. We are in VUCA world, but then that confidence is something I buy in. Then of course I get into understanding about the business. For me, it's very very important that the person should know about the finance. Do you understand that, what is operating profit, what is net profit, how do you read your balance sheet, how are you going to give returns to your investors? For me, it's very very important. So I think the first thing is the confidence, the second is the financial and the business knowledge.
Well said. I also keep saying that people invest in people, not just the business. At least
Absolutely.
initially, first you look at the person, and I
Correct.
try to look at why are you doing this? You could have had a job, you could have been a
Correct.
politician, a preacher, anything in life, a sports
Correct.
person. Why are you doing this? Kya kira hai? Are you doing this for
Mm-hmm.
money,
Yeah.
fame, or you don't want to have a boss? Because those are all the wrong reasons. So
Yeah.
I try to
Yeah,
look
and
at that first.
yeah, and those are generally the reasons.
That's true. So, the I'll come to a little bit of a different topic. A lot of entrepreneurs today are getting sucked into the system by the halo effect and the glamour. A lot like in the 70s, 80s, 90s, people used to go to Mumbai to become film actors. Same way people are coming into the startup world. And like the film business, it is a 90% failure business, 90% fail
Agree.
for some reason or
Absolutely.
the other. Doesn't make them bad in life, doesn't mean you don't try, but there is a high failure rate. Now, you also mentioned that some of the skills that entrepreneurs need are networking skills, ability to sell, ability to manage cash, things like that. But many entrepreneurs are actually the ones who had the idea or the one who created the product, but they don't have these skills. But because they had the idea and the product and they hold majority share, they call themselves CEO. What is a suggestion for them? Should they step back and be the lead project head, product manager, and hold the majority share and make somebody else the CEO with these skills? Or what do they do?
Okay. So, see, I'm a finance person, okay, and I believe that ultimately it's how much money I make when I grow my business, okay, or when I. So it's not about if I I'm holding a share in a company which is almost like what 51%. In another company, I'm holding just 25%. In another company, I'm just holding maybe 20%. Now, irrespective of what level of shareholding I have, how big is my company, how big is my pie matters. So ultimately, this 51% converts into how much of profit in hands, how much money is coming to my bank account is what matters to me. So I always tell entrepreneurs, when you have to let go your share and get somebody who's better than you to grow your business, don't hesitate, because that person coming in will grow your business. You would you like to be a holding 80% share with 1 crore valuation, or 50% with 10 crore valuation? You need to decide. So just let go. I think the see if you know that entrepreneur have two mindset. One is a king mindset, one is a rich mindset. King mindset will say, no, I'm okay. I want to hold my 80%. I'm happy with my 1 CR. Okay, if you are with that mindset, you be happy with that. Then don't crave about that business is not growing, my valuations are not growing. If you have a rich mindset, they will let go whether the moment they see there's a bigger opportunity. I better take an exit and make money rather than just holding, sitting on it and not growing. What's the point? So it's all about taking an informed call. But when you take an informed call, don't crave about it. As simple as. So if you're not able to grow, if you're a technical person, please let go. Get a person who can really market and grow your business. Because ultimately, it's all about making money out of the business and selling the product or the services to the right audience. Otherwise, why are you into this entire ecosystem at all?
So one of the things you mentioned this earlier about the tech leaning of investors, and I want to just probe that a little bit more. Now, in today's world, virtually all businesses use tech to scale in some way or the other. Yet, there seems to be investors seem to have an aversion to businesses in the food, clothing, shelter kind of area. They seem to have a different class of investors altogether.
Correct.
And the latest IPOs, etc., even the one I mentioned, Nika, etc., they're not exactly tech, right? But you can create scale and successful business models with returns for investors without necessarily being leading edge or bleeding edge or whatever you call it.
Correct.
But, and at the end of the day, for economies like India, where there's such a high consumptive economy at a low per capita level, still food, clothing, shelter has tremendous scope to grow versus just tech. What is your preference? I mean, where is the balance in this?
So, Nalin, I really see this as a very, very personal, opinion from investors about it. See, ultimately, from investor point of view, investing into startup is just an alternate investment. As I invest into share market or I invest into debt market, I also invest into startups. Now, what happens when they are investing? They will see that which are the successful ventures, which have given a good returns. And honestly, 60 to 70%, if you really see, are those tech business, be it a e-commerce or fintech or edtech. So they say that, so they come to the mindset that, if it's a tech driven, the moment I put money, there's a scope of the company growing phenomenally, some 5x, 10x. If you really see a typical food business or a cloth business, if how do you scale it up? If money, I get my investors to invest only when money is the only the thing that is not letting it grow. What do you say? An obstacle to grow. So I don't blame them, and they are, and ultimately, see, if my investors don't make money, next time I go take a deal with them, they will also not be happy. So it's I'm not dealing with my own money. In fact, recently, I came across a deal where the company is getting into B2C in coffee business. Amazing guy, founder is amazing, but my investors are saying, "Arey, how much you will do B2C? It's so expensive." So they're not keen. As we said, Nika is what nothing but an e-commerce for your this thing. He will also become an e-commerce only for coffee brands. But I don't see it's something bad or something. For them it's an investment. If they don't like it, they don't invest in. And honestly, my pool of investors are all tech driven. For them, tech makes them happy. I also take those businesses which are tech driven.
So, just like having an idea doesn't make you an entrepreneur, and there's a lot of focus on the skills that entrepreneurs need, and we have also discussed this so much. Does just because you have money, do you become an investor, or do you need training as well?
Oh no, I think that is the worst thing that a founder can get, that to get an investor only for money. When you get an investor, the investor should have complete, even not complete, but a very very deep knowledge about the venture that he's investing into. Because not only money, he gets his network, he gets his experience on table, and then only you grow. So only money, no, I think that's a very very bad idea to get investor only for money, until unless the founder is so very clear that okay, I just need your money, nothing else. But that hardly happens. They need the person's experience, network, knowledge. And so I am completely, no from my side on that front.
Yeah. So, chatting with you, I lost track of time. We are nearly at the end, so I'm going to ask you one final question and uh, let you go for the evening. Now, you have juggled a professional life, entrepreneurship, many other public assignments, along with having a young family. So, what part do you think you had to compromise?
Oh, okay. So, if you see, one thing I have realized, Nalin, that the very business of making everyone happy is a bad business. I've come out of that business. At some point of time, family is not happy because I'm not able to give them time. Sometimes my partners are not happy because I'm not able to give time, because I have to give time to my family. So I can't make everyone happy at every point of time. I decide my own priorities, and I don't want to be best at everything. I cannot be the best mother, I cannot be the best director, I cannot be the best wife, I cannot. I want to live an average life and happy with that. There are certain mantras which I just follow, that as long as I'm happy and I feel that okay, what I'm doing is enough, I'm happy. I have gone through this churn of, through this guilt trip of saying that I'm not able to do this, that, and all. But from last 5 6 years, I've come out of that thing and just want to live in good average life. Average mom, average wife, average director, and I'm good.
Now, you have led an extraordinary life. You're an inspiration to many. Fantastically well said. You can't make everybody happy. If you're making everybody happy, then it's not really working out. So,
Absolutely.
Nisha, thank you very much. It has been absolutely delightful to have you on the show. And I wish you
Thanks,
the very
Nalin.
best. You have many, many more things to contribute to the ecosystem. Please continue down your path, and I hope our paths cross again. Thank you very much and wish you a good evening.
Thanks, Nalin. Wish you the same, and thanks for having me again. Have a great day.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.